So today we are going to start our sugar skulls. I have some visuals for you. We're gonna kind of follow this for a basic guide, and these are some ideas that you can add for symbols or make it look more like a typical sugar skull. So I have some visuals for you all. But we're going to be doing this because the skull is a cavalera, and this is a common symbol in the Mexican holiday Dia de Muertos, and that's the Day of the Dead. So a lot of people think, oh, that's on the same holiday of Halloween, but it's actually the beginning of November, like November 1st. So very close to our Halloween time. So it's just a time when they would remember family members and close friends by gathering and praying and remembering and basically celebrating the lives of the loved ones who've passed away. And they bring brightly decorated sugar skulls, which we're doing here, as offerings on their private altars. So we're going to be creating our little sugar skull today. I'm going to set this aside for now. So you're going to get a big piece of, not big piece of paper, piece of paper, and you're going to first divide it into 4 sections. And if it's not perfectly folded, I mean, that is totally fine. Okay, as long as it's folded in fourths, we're good. So you'll have a front and a back. At this point, I would write my name, Mrs. K, / and the first letter of your teacher's name, and then turn it around. So we're gonna follow this right here. So we're gonna be adding some dots and things like that. We're not drawing the lines here. That represents the folds. So when we get this, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have 2 dots. Now, these 2 dots are not on the line. They're gonna be slightly below the line, okay? And I'm about 3 fingers-ish from both sides. I'm gonna have a line down here, about 3 fingers-ish, and one down here, okay? You want it to be fairly large, okay? This is your main focal point. So we've just set it up. Now we're gonna be adding the skull and the lower portion. So this top portion, we're not gonna create like a rainbow. We're gonna actually bow it out a little bit, touch it to that, come down, touch it to this one. And I'm a little bit off, so I could totally fix this, fix that a little bit. I'm not worried about those lines right now. Then at the bottom, I'm not gonna bow out. Now this one, I'm gonna go down to here and then back up, okay? So that's the jawline. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the dots where the eyes are and the dot where the mouth is. So I'm gonna have the eye dots roughly above that fold, roughly here, and the mouth dot is gonna be about midway between those dots, okay? So the eyes, I'm gonna draw a circle around the eye, and I'm gonna try to keep the spacing very similar around each eye. So this little dot, I could just move it to the center there or get rid of it completely, okay? And then the mouth is gonna go right in here. So that's pretty straight. If you want it to be a little more curved, you can so do that. So it kind of has a creepy vibe now, but it won't. So we're gonna add some things that are interesting. So you can use this sheet or not, it's completely up to you. I kind of like those waves right there. So I'm gonna draw some waves on mine. Maybe another wave will come up here. Okay, it kind of almost looks like hair to me. Around the eyes, I'm gonna do more of that traditional flower around the eyes that I see on the Day of the Dead. So I'm gonna go around there. What I'm gonna do on one side, I'm gonna repeat on the other. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect symmetry, but you don't wanna get too crazy with this. So you want it to be fairly symmetrical, okay? Then when I get to the nose portion, when I draw the nose, I generally will draw like an upside down heart. I think that works great for a nose. And then for the mouth, these ovals I'm drawing are like the teeth, okay? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can have more. That's just what I added there, okay? I can add something else right here. Maybe I like to continue with the flowers. Maybe I want to just do an interesting shape or design. Maybe I want to use something from here. That's where you can kind of decide. Now, I do need something else on the cheeks and the chin. I haven't done that yet, but for the sake of time, I'm gonna move on. These are two very nice examples. You can see how they've have that repetition, the symmetry on both sides. So they put things that they liked on it. And if you were honoring the person that has passed away in your life, you can draw things that you like as well. And then you're gonna use Sharpie. I have the regular and the thin tip. So when I do the Sharpie and I have like some funny lines like that, what I generally try to do is I will, I made the head a lot bigger. Why not? I will generally try to move my paper to kind of fit everything nicely. And I rest my hand on the paper so I have my lines are not shaky, okay? So I've got a seriously large forehead on here. So I'm hoping, since I did that, I went a little crazy, that when I get these lines in here, I can kind of make that, break that up a little bit, okay? Then I could have some other little lines here, keeping it pretty simple, okay? Then I can outline the eyes. If I need to turn the paper like I did before, I can. And then I'm gonna trace all these little details. So if you're not exactly on your lines, that's fine, because sometimes I kind of omit lines that I'm like, ooh, I didn't like that so well. So I'm gonna omit them before I get to my, or while I'm at my black Sharpie, or sometimes I will erase it before, because it does get a little bit crazy once, like right now, I'm kind of going rogue and drawing on my own, okay? So I'm gonna trace over everything, including the lips, or the teeth, I should say, and then I'm gonna erase all my pencil lines, okay? So I'm hoping you get to the finish with the drawing, started with the Sharpie today. Some of you may even finish the Sharpie and then erasing your pencil lines, and then next week we'll add our color.